everybody. My name is Lisa Burley. This is my husband, Scott Burley. And this is episode 11 of Soulmates and Suitcases. And we are excited to have one of that quartet band, Honeybear, the band. And we're excited to have Ian Beaty on today. And Ian's on the road, but not on the road. And we're going to have a great chat with Ian today and hear more about Honeybear and what they're up to and maybe what Ian's part in all of this is all about. So welcome, Ian.
Thanks a lot. Good afternoon.
Yes.
We're just back from the road, a significant trip through Ontario. We hit Montreal, and we were in Alberta last weekend, and we're back in town now. Looking forward to another sort of a homecoming show coming up, April 25th at the Pearl.
Oh.
That's what we're getting psyched up for now.
Awesome. And for those people who are tuning in from around the world, we're talking about Canada here. So
Right.
you are a Canadian band. So Ian, tell us a little bit about yourself and what part you play in this band and how you guys all formed.
Well, sure. So my name is Ian Beaty. I'm a Vancouver born and raised kid. Uh, no longer a kid. But my partner with Honeybear and I have been playing since those childhood days together. I learned how to play bass with him on guitar and another friend doing blues, and we did a lot. We moved from blues to funk together in a band in the '90s. Took some time out and came back together in about it was the pandemic, which is a story of changed a lot of things for people. But at that time when there was not much going on in the paid work department for musicians, a number of us, and primarily this Colin and I are all such good friends, had a different attitude and more time on our hands to get together and jam, play for the love of it, rather than in order to rehearse for the next gig, because there were no such upcoming gigs. And we kind of rediscovered that there was a lot of charm to what we had going on with the sound that we both had grown in. It was nothing like what we'd done in the past together. Well, some similarities, but we'd grown more into singing about songs and more than just jamming. We had some songs to write, and it was interesting to me, especially that with a little bit of success from Honeybear, it changed my whole view of whether or not it made any sense to be writing music. It had seemed for a while like it was a sort of an indulgence to spend time writing songs down, and it was certainly fun, but it wasn't very motivating. I needed just the faintest hope that like somebody might hear it someday. Uh, and with Honeybear having started, we recorded fairly early on a few tunes that were originals and were not instrumentals. They were in fact tunes that we'd written together, and that little bit of success with that really opened up a big sort of floodgate of creativity for me. So that's one of the things that beyond touring and doing a fair bit of, we're doing quite well with our traveling show. It's writing tunes and having a new faith in the value or potential of making original music in this century that has changed for me with the growth of almost, and quite, I don't want to act overly surprised, but this to a certain extent, a surprising success and surprisingly quick growth of Honeybear as something that we can go out and reliably sell tickets at a certain scale to see us. We're making an impact when people hear the stuff and hear my voice. I didn't get to that, but I'm the singer and the bass player in the group. It seems to, a certain number of people seem to click with that and really, remember it and are willing to come out and buy tickets, and people are willing to not just listen to us on Spotify necessarily, but like put us on a playlist or something like that. That means a little bit more, which has been Yeah, it's been not just a flattering, because I've always enjoyed performing for people and having that direct response. Hey, man, people come up to you afterwards and say, that was really good. And that means something, but this is at a sort of a different scale, which has been, as I say, inspiring to continue with original material.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. A lot of success would come from the chemistry of the band, would it not? Like the way you
Sure.
guys gel and the way you guys put yourself out to the universe. And
Yes, there's a huge ethereal component that is really hard to, I mean, people talk about the fabrication of boy bands or whatever with an audition process, and you can achieve some extremely good results with that process, but that is not. Uh, we have there's a lot of having the years of experience playing together, and a certain amount of it's. I was recently reflecting. I think it's a lot more about taste than chops, if you were, because neither Colin and I are the most virtuosic players, but it's always, maybe at this point in life, maybe this reflects some of our lyrical content too. It's like, it's not what you play, it's certainly not how many notes you play, but what you don't play and what uh, the less is more thing, and just sort of aiming your music at exactly what suits you and where you're at. It feels like home, and it feels comfortable, like a true expression of oneself. And that's another thing about writing original music. Like it has some good results in terms of what I'm able to do from the vocals, perhaps because I'm writing these tunes and these melodies around like what my voice wants to do. It's part and parcel. So, it's no wonder in some sense that it's some stuff that I can really dig into, and it suits me. Well, I hope it does, because I'm coming up with it through the process of singing. It's not the other way around. It's the vocal phrasing is what brings and leads the songwriting forward. I often will find words to suit what feels good in the voice as a melody. So uh,
are
it's a nice thing.
are you the main songwriter of the group?
Well, and rarely does something come from me just alone, and I say, "Hey guys, what do you think of this?" It's far more usual that there's a big chunk of inspiration in terms of the music, as you as do, for those who sometimes differentiate like the singing part from the music, and I can do that, but uh, there's the so-called top line or the melody that is sung and or laid over a form or a feel and a groove, and the entire world of songwriting, in my view, does not really respect that side of it as much as it should. It comes down often to like, well, what are the chord changes? What is the series of chords? And that's known as the rhythm. But it doesn't all the nuance in that, and all the riff and the feel, and what are these people going to do as a rhythm to the thing isn't really inside of the traditional classical songwriting model, but that is essential. Like, what's the feel? What's the groove? Especially into the music we make. So that generally comes. Often we'll start with something that Colin has, and sometimes quite often an idea for like a turn of phrase or a song about a certain thing, and he'll set me loose on that. So there's always some kind of collaborative element. That's the usually the sort of secret for success.
One of the things, Ian, in your write up was you write songs about what you know about. And so like
Sure.
when I hear you explain and like how you light up and how you love talking about the singing and the writing and the songs and all of that, where did it come from for you? Like, were you like one of those kids that like wrote songs in their diary, or like
Uh,
when did it start for
sure.
you?
Well, I think the performance side. I mean, I've been really emphasizing the songwriting and musical creation side in this pleasant interview so far. But I've been emphasizing that because that's been a real, like a renaissance for me, or a rebirth. I had for many years thought of myself as most interested in the performing first, and that I'm an entertainer before I am a songwriter, and I'm a singer before I am a songwriter. If that's the like if it's if it's weddings, outdoor events, bring me an audience, and I'm there. I'll have a great old time, and it's in the moment and it's done. Looking at my childhood and my personality, aspects of my personality, it would be that you'd be able to see coming from it as a kid, like more or less being a total clown as a kid. And I remember a sort of a formative moment I reflect on is that I was interested in acting kind of seriously. More, I was a theater kid rather than a band geek in school. And when I took theater kind of seriously, it was the improv stuff that I was maybe better at, or showed, I showed some aptitude of sorts there. But when I got to university, which I did pursue to marginal benefit, I took acting in a serious way and realized then, with all the study of the subtext and the often the traumatic background of digging into the personal story behind the character and building that, and I was like, this is a lot of work, and actually I just want to like sort of show off in front of my friends. And at that very same time, I was finding some success in original music, a very much of a true expression of self at that time, which was much more around prolonged jam sessions. It would be, unfortunately, jam band material. It does qualify as that, but I cringed now, and I would have even cringed then. We were trying to make instrumental funk music, not jam band music, but there's obviously a crossover, and we did a lot of that crossing over. Uh, so that's the past. As I mentioned briefly, we're like much more into song and craft and minimalism, and like and also deliberately being very retro. And we're going back to a different era of music that we're sort of tapping from, rather than Parliament, for example, and other '70s funk. So
Now,
uh, yeah.
I know for myself in the last, I'm going to say 4-ish years, maybe even 5-ish years, my whole genre of music has went for, and don't get me wrong, I still really like it, but heavy metal like Kid Rock and Eminem, and now I got Muddy Waters and uh,
Oh,
Colt
Yeah,
Ford,
he has
and
all these
like I'm
variety.
shifting. It's like my variety is shifting so much, and the appreciation for the art of it, or the appreciation of all of it, is changing. Do you think any of that plays a perspective in your guys' group, like the age where you guys have made this shift to playing stuff that means something to you?
well, all of us have like a long-standing, really legitimate interest in very bare bones, serious blues, and it's weird. I feel like some way we gathered musicians together who have that, because in yeah, I guess, yeah, almost through my kids maybe, but pop music, and like when I was younger, I had an adamant disdain for anything electronic. And I still really like to, when I'm listening to music, I really like to imagine that there's a bunch of people, ideally a bunch of friends, playing that in a live space. I like that illusion, but I also like straight ahead pop music a lot more than a lot more than most of the people in the band who do not. But I'm probably broadening my tastes, having started with a really strictly blues. I really was seriously thought that blues was about all I ever needed in my like when I was 16, 15, 16. It seems unusual, but it's great that I feel like I guess I felt a little bit less like I could own it then than I do now, in terms of the themes in blues music. There's that. Yeah.
Who are some of the icons that drew you to blues when you were
Oh
a kid?
well, part of it as a question of sort of respect for the roots. We would have been all interested, like even in Robert Johnson, I shouldn't say extreme, but one man and his guitar, a Delta blues style, which I don't find is I never found that to be really accessible, but I thought it was sort of intriguing from a perspective of study, really. And I was at that time, of course, connecting the dots between Eric Clapton's group, Cream. I had a fair bit of British blues as an introduction to the real stuff. And those guys at the time were bringing back to great attention Chicago guys that were had a real connection, such as Muddy Waters, and certainly like Howling Wolf is the artist that I listen to most of all. And of that era of the Chicago area, but then I mentioned and I've significantly moved on from my admiration for Stevie Ray Vaughan, but there was a time, at least a good year, when I listened to only Stevie Ray Vaughan. And our original blues band, one of our first few gigs, I remember really excited about the gig coming up on a Tuesday night down at it was like one step up from the open jam. It was us. And I had to balance out blues in E, blues in A, blues in E, blues in A, because I tried to make those alternate. I didn't want to play them all in one key. And then it was also Stevie Ray tunes, not Stevie Ray tunes, like 50-50, try to balance that out. And then I've been, since that point, trying to blend shuffle and straight feels. You want to change the tempo, change the feel up a little bit. And with that matrix, it was difficult because there's so many Stevie Ray Vaughan tunes. I'm just a huge fan of that. Now, much more diverse now.
Nice.
So who are you finding is in your audience anyway?
Honestly, a good number of people who are somewhat older than even us.
Probably an interesting combination then.
Yes.
Yeah, so who are you finding is in your audience?
Uh, well, I just say it's a broad range of people, some young, attractive people. No, but there are. It's a diverse crowd, a mixed crowd. Which I don't know if you know what I mean when people say it's a mixed crowd. Usually means it contains older people, and we are older people
Yeah.
at just about 50 plus ourselves. Um, and yeah, and it seems to be like sometimes there's some issues where we play in what is definitely a nightclub, which does not have a lot of seating, but our audience comes when the doors open, and they're right there, and they're looking for seats, and it can be a little awkward because it's more of a standing club type environment, and people are there nice and early. We may not start right away, and so there is that. We are happy to see them, and we can always tell the nightclub owners that per capita these people in the 50 plus range do still drink alcohol, contrary to some of the youth today.
And sometimes we were just at an event 2 years
Yeah,
ago,
2 years.
and it was an outdoor event to see Jelly Roll. And when we
Wow.
booked these tickets, it said it was seating, and so we arrived thinking, we're 50 some, we're gonna have some seating. Oh no, we got to stand
Yeah.
for 8 hours. Uh,
Yeah. That's
so
too
yeah,
long. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's too long. Or sit on the grass.
Yeah. Or sit on the grass, but I can do that. I'm still of an age where I can sit down on a burlap sack. If I can, but I won't be standing. No, I'll hurt if I'm standing too long. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
for me, it's not even so much the sitting on the ground. It's after I sit there long enough. It's
To
how do
get
I
up.
get
Yes.
back up?
You get a friend to lift you up. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, okay. I mean, I have done plenty of reminiscing about silly stories of the past, and I wonder if I've neglected the upcoming, what I should be talking about is the exciting times of Honeybear in 2026.
No, it's all good.
100%.
Oh,
We
good.
get to know you more.
Can you
Oh,
introduce
you
all
have,
your
yes.
band members for
Yeah, tell
us
us
to
everyone
start
in the
with?
band. Yeah.
Right. Well, we have worked to date with so there's me, Ian Beaty.
Yeah.
There's the man I describe as my partner, Colin Brumell, on the guitar. There's Mike Kenny has been our main man on keyboards, and to date, Tim Watson on drums has been on the skins there. Yeah.
And you're all
Uh,
Canadian boys?
We're all Vancouver area people. Not all going back as far as raised in the Dunbar area of Vancouver, like Colin and I. But we've been out on the music scene and known each other. I was talking about sort of that ethereal magic of what makes a thing sound like it gels and like it is like it's. I mean, for us, it's like it sounds like if when we're striking on all pistons, as it were, it's supposed to sound like it was recorded and it was happening decades ago, and it has to have that. It has to have a certain sound to it. So that kind of gelling does happen with people who have played together plenty before, and in different settings we have over many years. Yeah.
So what do you have upcoming? I know you had mentioned one there, but what else is
Right.
happening?
Well, I mentioned April 25th is when we're playing with Antonio La Rosa at the Pearl, and that's going to be a cool show. We're going to bring out a horn section for that, which is great because we are mostly a quartet at the core, but we have done a couple of events with horn sections. We've got a couple coming up with that, and it's going to be great. That's really exciting. But in June, so that's after, yeah, shortly after that trip, we're going out to the conference in Toronto, North by Northeast, where we'll have a showcase out there and checking out that whole, it's a whole industry conference. We'll represent ourselves there. And we have a few shows. There's a St. Catharines. It's all available. There's a St. Catharines. There's a Hamilton, Ontario, and another show in downtown Toronto. Leading up to that, I think that's around June 6th, 7th, 8th. I don't have the information in front of me, but I'll be there.
Where can everybody find sort of these dates and
Spotify should have info if that's what people are doing. Our website, honeybear.band, will definitely lead you in the right direction to tickets and whatnot. The shows have been announced. At least 3 leading up to that North by Northeast appearance. Our appearance with that conference itself is not yet in set, but we will be there as a part of that noteworthy conference.
how are you finding, so you're from the West Coast, but you're heading to the East, more well, middle central Canada to play. Are you
Just a brief pause in the show. If you'd like to dive deeper into our work, our books are available on Amazon. You can also get instant electronic copies at payhip.com/Lisa Scott Brearley authors. Now, back to the show.
the venues, you have enough venues on the West Coast that you typically play, or kind of what's your
Well,
goal?
we are finding it very attractive, despite the carbon footprint and expense of flying to Ontario, because there's these much more major cities that are not that far apart. In the old days, we did a lot of. You have some familiarity with the West Coast, but we would tour to Gulf Islands and beautiful places, a couple ferries away from Vancouver, and it would take many hours to get there. And we would play, and we'd be driving around. We would drive as far as the Rockies into Canmore and Banff, but seldom even get as far as Edmonton and Calgary, which are about 12 hours driving away. And we have had some great shows. We've enjoyed going to the Okanagan area where there's nice wineries to play at and great rooms that really support live music out there. But those are some 5 and 6 hours away from home too. So it is tough. I mean, in Canada it's tough, but once you get to Southern Ontario, it's a lot better. So we that's yeah we've been building that. It's been going well, and I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Now, I'm really curious. So first of all, how was the name chosen? How did that come about? And I almost see two different symbols from you. There's the honey bear, which looks like the actual honey design bear from the actual honey that you eat. And then there's another bear you have that looks like I can't remember put out the fire. Yeah, Smokey
the
bear.
Bear.
Yes.
What's
Well,
all
let's
those
let's
stories?
let's leave the particular name of any particular bear aside.
Yes.
But yes, we have. There's a motif there that we've enjoyed. It's been a good time. So we are named not after the honey bear that is as a honey dispenser, but after the stuffed animal that was Colin's wife's childhood stuffy ragged. It still exists. It's around. He's barred me, but I think we should bring it out to the to one of our bigger shows because I actually think we get a great applause if I was to announce that the original namesake honey bear is here in the house tonight and pick it, show it off. But Colin would rather we have I don't know if it's a more dramatic story or a more music inspirational story, but that is the truth to the origin of it. You picked up that there's the honey dispenser, which are great nostalgic things, and I can't say it was all a big master plan, but we have had a lot of fun because we now have our own sort of house branded honey bears that we sell at the shows, and they are cute. We sell we sell the honey, as then we give people a QR code on the back which is a like download link for all the music. So it's rather that, instead of a CD or vinyl, if you don't have those pieces of equipment, you can always go for the honey. And if if you like MP3s, you can do what you like with those. So that's the honey bears. That's the little honey side, which are cute. Our T-shirts have been doing quite well, though. We have the other motif, a well-known bear with a nice ranger hat, and the T-shirts it says "I Was Wrong," which is
Yes.
our album track. It's the same. It's the same graphic from the CD, where "I Was Wrong" is across the hat band. And it's again like I'd love to claim vision that we had, but it's really we found out that it's people just like to buy these T-shirts that say "I was wrong"
Wrong.
for their spouses to wear. And it ties into just how much, like that song "I Was Wrong" has a curious response sometimes because people like it. Not, I kind of thought it was about regret and a little bit dark at least, but particularly the ladies really love to just they after shows they'll say no, just to hear a man say I was wrong like that over and over like that, it was, yeah, it was quite quite pleasing. They did not find it a downer, shall we say. And the t-shirts with that on it are selling surprisingly well, far better than just the ones that say honey bear.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's quite
So
nostalgic. I think that's the word, nostalgia
It's cozy. I
around
mean, I like it.
the
I like it. I
visual.
like the whole design better, but it seems to be that seeing the hubby wearing an oversized "I was wrong" shirt is worth at least a few bucks come the end of the set. So I'm all in favor. We
I'm
just got to
not sure
print
if
some
it's
more extra large.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's possible or not, but can we get a picture of the original honey bear and Lisa may be able to put it on the Zoom call, no?
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have one with me, but I can send. Because we had a great old time. I'll send you two pictures if you want. Because our friend, no, it was indeed a friend, but it's
The original.
keyboardist Mike took a photo of a honey, and somehow one of them went. One of they go cloudy, like they honey gets crystal,
Yeah.
and I don't know why, because oftentimes it like a whole bunch of them, same conditions, same box, same temperature, same age, but one of them will go all crystally, and it looked a little derelict. So he took a picture, and there was a wine bottle in the background or something. It was like, so there was like before and after, like Honeybear at the beginning of the tour, Honeybear at the end of the tour, looking. So I'll
I
see if I can find that for you. But
Well, go
we got a
on.
few
No, I
pictures.
mean the original teddy bear that it was named
Oh, the
after.
original teddy bear. I see. I'm sorry. I thought
That's
you meant
okay.
a shot of our custom honeys, because
Yeah,
they're
that would work
photogenic.
too.
Yeah, he might be able to get you a photo of the original honey
That would
bear.
be cool. I think there's also a story in there, or which can turn into a song with that bear. I know you had done one of your songs. Which one was it? The that I was wrong. Yeah, but the perspective from is it? Oh no, the
That's
devotion
devotion. It's called
from the
devotion. Yes,
dog.
that's
Yes,
it.
I can see a perspective from the honey bear, the teddy bear.
Oh, I see. Yes, come back and love me like you used to. I
Yes.
agree. It is ready to roll. Yes. So
You just
exactly. So
planted an idea, babe.
absolutely. And you were talking about our process, but that's exactly. Well, for me, a long time, I was like, okay, I love writing songs. I'm ready to go. I'm great with words, blah, blah, blah. But what? What should I write about? What? And it's an endless abyss. But that's why it works great when Colin says to me, hey, Beats, I thought of this one liner. And right now, they're like, come back and love me like you used to. That is a blues song, and it needs like 10 or 12 more lines, you know? And the music always comes easily. Like, I can make, yeah. So, here we go. That's it's so much fun, you know. And what's changed in my life is that now it actually makes sense that I should spend half an hour or an hour writing that song in case, like, it might see the light of day. And 5 years ago, that was not the case. It would have been a pleasant waste of time to write that song.
And I'm really curious, how do you write? Can you share that with us? How do you
Oh,
record?
well, usually, I mean, occasionally I think of something in my mind that I'm not sure, like what are those chords or what go with that, and I would need to get out a keyboard to figure out what it is I'm hearing. But in particular with Honey Bear and our sort of, we have a sort of a genre specific limit to our chordal movement and the sort of the kind of palette that we're drawing from. I can usually. It's usually I could usually. I mean, I kind of sometimes think about how bad it would be, and I shouldn't minimalize it because it would be debilitating to be locked in solitary confinement, and I would not find that my happy creative impulses were flowing probably in that situation. I don't want to treat it lightly, but I do feel like if I was on a desert island, shall we say, okay, in a pleasant but absolutely barren environment, I could amuse myself until the day of my death thinking about music, just thinking about it. No instruments. I'm theoretically I can still sing, but it's just one voice. I can beat on my own body. That would suffice for me. Although I prefer to have people to sing to, people to play with, and all that. At the core, it's there, and that's a great joy in my life that they can't take that away from me, and I'm happy about it.
I love.
So, but then in terms of writing, what I love to do is make voice memos, and I have thousands, and I send Colin a lot of them. If he ever wants to blackmail me, he can easily do that. Particularly if we ever get actually well known, like right now, a dump of embarrassing voice memos by singer Ian Beaty would attract no attention. But he has a lot of bizarre material because I share ideas with him in a way that I would be embarrassed to share with anybody on the planet. And
Maybe we
so
should
he's
be
sitting
doing
on
the
all that.
interview with him.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
I
sure,
don't know.
for
It's
sure.
another song. That's another song. All those voice
Yeah,
memos.
yeah. No, so there's tons of stuff there, and I try to log it. I write, then I have my favorite, usually on my phone, and my favorite word processing program is just like Apple's Notepad, and I write lyrics down there. It's usually melody first, and like I can't remember exactly what Paul McCartney had a great word before he came up with yesterday. It was like I don't know what it was, but he would also apparently write with the phrase first with gibberish lyrics, and then you try to work in some lyrics that make sense first. And also a great example, Phil Collins in Su Studio. You know that one?
Yeah.
Su Studio. So he apparently like he just put that in as a placeholder because obviously it wasn't going to be about like studio. What's that? That's
Yeah,
nothing.
what's that?
So he put that in, and then he was working on the tune, and it was great. And then he tried so hard to find something that was as good as studio, right?
Yeah.
But he just couldn't, so he just left it, and that's it. And it's iconic. And there's like many examples like that, and I find that frequently too. Like I'll put a phrase in, I'll put some text into a melody line as a way to remind me of that melody or that phrase, because the text will be very suggestive of a rhythm that seems to work. So I'll put in like a dummy lyric, and then I'll be like, well, doesn't sound that bad, and I kind of work that into something and then try to apply some meaning to it, let it go, this and that. But oftentimes a phrase that seems to fit the rhythm will be, I won't just necessarily make it into the tune, it might become the tune. It's sort of that organic about with regard to the text of it. But of course there's not much planning going on to in the melody making either. Sometimes I think, oh, I need to build it a little bit here. That's a little bit too intense right off the top, but mostly it's fairly intuitive. And I honestly note that I repeat my own self. I will often be like, oh, I'm taking that melody scrap from that song and that song from that song. And as long as I merge them together, I don't have no problem with that. But sometimes I notice that the person who I copy from the most is myself. And I have, of course, like a grab bag of phrases that both feel good in the voice. We were talking about how a lot of it is physical. Yeah, I mean, just like a sax player picks up his sax and or her sax, their sax blows it, they're gonna have the same phrases that are comfortable and feel cool are gonna come out. Absolutely the same with me and singing, and especially if I'm like wearing a particular genre hat with Honeybear or otherwise. It's a grab bag of materials, nothing new under the sun, and it's all about a nice sort of tasteful reimagining of those elements.
I love it.
There you go.
I love it. I didn't know how the creative mind worked. I love that, hearing
In
that.
Well,
the
that's just mine. I mean, I don't think it's atypical at all.
Yeah.
But that's just mine. And it was interesting about, especially about how a little spark is really all I need. But yeah, commission me with a few words, and I'm off to the races.
Yeah.
is there a typical
Final pause. If you've got a message on your heart and want to be our guest, don't be shy. We'd love to hear from you. Visit FordWalkingChoices.com, scroll to the Soulmates and Suitcases podcast section, and click Apply Here. Now back to the show.
kind of time frame where you start to write it to where it actually becomes music?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's music. It's music all along. But
Or a
in
song
terms of
Produced.
yeah,
like
well, there isn't, and there's oftentimes big delays in between, like between. So it could sit in a tune from that I'm thinking about, or even if it's collaborative from Colin and I or otherwise. It could sit in the half-baked stage for a really long time. And often I would even say that after it's been 6 months and I'm still interested in that little tidbit, that's actually a good sign to me. Like maybe that's one that's worth more attention. Like I mean, maybe it's an excuse for having a bad organizational system, but I kind of had this hope that the better ideas will retain attention somehow and sort of rise to the top amidst the bulk of them. I think that is partly true. So that could be any like the time, a couple of months, 6 months. Then we could put a tune together and have every great intention of recording it. What we'd like to do is actually road test it and play it with the band a few times out on the road, or play it just 10, 12, 15 times, because it'll sound way better when we record it. We've proven this so many times. But if you record it right away, it's okay. But for us, at least, if you road test it, get some dynamics in there, make it sound like it's live, everything's way punchier, and you just sort of iron it out. I guess you could do that in the studio if you spent like 3 days working on one tune, playing it 80 times, and then
Yeah.
doing the take. But that's not the way we do. So then that process is another one. We record it, and it could sit in the master phase for a little bit. Usually that doesn't take too long. But then we also strategically have to figure out when are we going to release it to Spotify or other platforms first. And we might be sitting on a tune that's recorded for a long time. You asked, when does it become music? That's a Zen question, because when does that become music? When it is published to the wider world? That could be a year or two from now.
It takes time. Eh?
Well, it actually makes sense. I like how you said you take it out and play it to the audience first, because then you make it yours. You see the
Yeah.
audience reactions and
Yeah.
the feel of it, and
Oh, we definitely improve it through that
yeah.
process. It's the best. Yeah, live feedback, and yeah, it's more than just practice. It's live feedback. Yeah, and I'm saying we don't always do that, but we always wish we did. Like it hurts when a few months later you've been playing a song and you know that you could go into the studio now and do a better version than you did do when you learned it. You worked it out just days before you went into the studio to record it. So you always want to be recording new cutting edge material, but if it actually is road tested, you'll be happy with it later, I think.
Now, Honeybear is pretty new, and I'm very curious. What is your favorite song to play, and
Ah,
why?
I think it's still I was wrong, because I feel like there's it's a partly playful autobiographical element, but I can lean into that. And it's very comfortable. It's a a great feel, and nice and simple. Yeah, I'll go with that.
And you'll get that. I can tell from your face. You get the feedback from the audience that they're like, "I'm aligned with what you're singing."
Yes, there's a catharsis for sure, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Come out and admit it. That's the whole song.
So have you and the band kind of talked about what's your future goals? Are you just taking it day by day or show by
Well,
show?
yeah, I mean, our goal going, sort of starting this off, and I thought it was like a nice and achievable goal, was to play at some wicked music festival stages, because being in bars and clubs is cool, and we've had a great time lately having some acts open up for us that are like become friends. They're a bunch of cool guys. We do a couple shows, and it's a great social thing. But even better than that, from my perspective, is where I'd love to be with my time in the summers, especially, is at music festivals where we're not necessarily the main act. We're one of the acts, and then all surrounding my time performing, I can be checking out other music at outdoor summer festivals. That had been our goal, and we have achieved that goal. We're playing the Calgary Blues Fest, playing a big festival in Kingston this summer. And we're holding up for the Vancouver Folk Music Festival. We're probably going to play Vancouver Jazz Festival. So these are those goals, and that's great. And now I would really want to turn it into. My goal is to turn it into a real pipeline for creating. Pipeline sounds a bit like a factory, but a real system for releasing and writing and recording a lot of music.
So there you go. There's the
Yeah,
next step.
that's right. Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, we've had a great time. We're having a great success selling tickets to our shows, and even selling some T-shirts at those shows. So it's been good that way, and I'm ready for more musical recordings, more recordings. Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure your fans are excited for more. And I think we'll start wrapping this up with.
Yes, I must.
So yeah, I know you need to. And you had mentioned your website. How else can people see you and
Well, we're
what you
certainly
do?
on all the main socials. We've got some stuff on YouTube, Insta. We do, and Facebook. It's there. Honeybear the band. Honeybear.band is the website, and that will have links to everything. We're on Bandcamp. We're on Apple Music. Anywhere you may want to find us.
And check you out also on YouTube. You guys have lots as well.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I may be coming to Vancouver for the summer, so I'm going to be hitting you up for where your venue is when you're in Vancouver to come see you guys play.
Great. Yeah, we have a numerous in the Lower Mainland area over the summer. Yeah, the Langley Blues Festival is July 24th, and so we'll be there that night.
Well, there you go.
Perfect.
We may meet in person.
Right.
We may meet
Right
in
on.
person.
So thanks, Ian. Appreciate
Thanks,
your
Ian.
time.
Great
All
pleasure.
the best.
Sure.
Honeybear,
Okay.
the band.
And
You too.
we'll end this our Thai version way.
Yeah, we say kapun
Kapun
cha.
krap.
All right.
All right,
Bless
take care. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Ian. Bye-bye.
Want to get our books fast and at the best price? Get your electronic copy at https://payhip.com/Lisa Scott Brearley authors. Again, that's https://payhip.com/Lisa Scott Brearley authors.